And I'm going to go to the MATLAB online forum. I like this one because, as I said, it uses the latest edition of MATLAB. There's nothing wrong with you using the desktop edition that we have in the lab, but it's 2017A or B, I don't even remember. I think it's 2017A that we have. And it's the same kind of environment, but this one that I'm using is 2018B. And every 6 months, MathWorks updates something, and you'd have a MATLAB 2019A, 19B, and so on later. But here, a review of what I want us to continue doing after, say, this week. Everybody would be able to multiply numbers, to just do very short programs, and I've given a few examples there. Furthermore, when I give quizzes, I will not be using your MATLAB grader. What I would ask you to do is to come to an environment, this MATLAB online. And you will create a problem. Let's say this is a quiz. I'll just take one of them. Let's say I'll go to my example. Okay. Suppose this was your quiz, this file. You would have typed your code, you would run it, and if you're satisfied, suppose in the quiz I say, oh, multiply two numbers or calculate the area of a triangle, whatever the assignment is. And in the quiz, you'll go to MATLAB online, you'll type your code, you run it, and if you are happy with it, you're done. When you close it, you will see that all the files that you have used will be on the left-hand side. All you will have to do, and I'll be talking more about this later, all you'll have to do is you'll select the file, and you'll go to Home, and you'll say Download. It will download this file from the MATLAB online to your desktop. And that file now you will send to me via Canvas. And I will grade that. The quizzes I grade myself. Well, the MATLAB grade I'm writing myself anyway. But the difference between what you'll be doing, I'm just trying to respond to questions that students were asking. What is the difference between using MATLAB online? MATLAB online is just the basic MATLAB you have on the server in the college, but it's an advanced version or the most current version. And you use this just like you would use any MATLAB program to write your programs. I created MATLAB Grader so that students can have almost instantaneous feedback for majority of the problems. Sometimes students, if they're further confused, they can ask me and I'll come to their station and try to help them. But hopefully if I put enough information to guide you, then you'll have feedback without you waiting for me whilst I'm talking to other students. Now, when you have done something in MATLAB Grader, as I say, you do get responses. It is graded. You have several unlimited attempts is what I set it at. When you're doing the quiz, I'm now checking to see, did you understand what we did during the lab or in your homework? Then I will ask you to create a new file, do the examples that are specified, and send me that code. I will run each student's code and I will grade it and I will tell you whether you had an A or a B and so on. So the assignments are my lab assignments. There's no way you cannot get 100 in the lab assignments if you try them. If you're stuck, just let people know. But in the quizzes, then I test the individual's knowledge of the MATLAB programming. Because in the quizzes, you cannot ask anyone to help you, and you wouldn't have the MATLAB grader to give you hints saying this is wrong or this is right. And any questions in the class right now? Is everything clear what I'm expecting? Okay, so now let's continue. And I'm going to open a new file. In this MATLAB domain, again, we'll be dealing with some of these during today's lab. In this MATLAB online domain, it asks me to give the program I'm trying to write. It's just a text file, but we're going to be using MATLAB, abiding by MATLAB's rule for naming files or variables. One of the ways to name a variable or a file is to start with a letter. You cannot start with a number. I'll be saying this several times during the semester. So suppose I just want to call this file, today is the 24th. I know MATLAB doesn't use something like this. I'll say I'm going to call this file Thursday. I just, in fact, shorten, and I'll say this is January 24. This is an acceptable name. MATLAB doesn't have this as a name. I started with a letter, not a number. I can put numbers in between. I cannot have spaces in between. I cannot have funny characters in between. So I'm going to say this is an acceptable name. I cannot leave a dash, a space. If I leave a space, MATLAB is going to think, oh, you have two files. One is called THURS and the other one is called January 24. So no spacing. So I say that's the name of the file I want, and you will see it will appear here. And furthermore, you will see it in your folder that you have just created an empty file, and it's called Thursday, January 24. Now the task is, I want to start talking about generating plots. And so let's go back to the beginning. I'll do something like this where I'll do a scalar operation first. Suppose I like to clear my, the window that I'm going to run the program, which that means every time I run my program, it's like generating the solution on a new screen, and it erases everything that I've done before because I do not want the desktop to be clogged up. I will be talking about this in today's lab, but in the last lab, I did introduce it. One of them is CLC. In fact, when I start typing, if I just type CL, MATLAB gives you some suggestions here. In fact, these are attributes of later editions of MATLAB. If you had like, I don't think anybody's using that, but if you had MATLAB 2012 or so, they did not have this extra information for you. You will have to go to the document to find that. So one of them is CLC, means clear the command window, and separate these by a comma, and CLEAR. What do these mean? Oh, I can stop here. Clear means remove any items from the workspace. So if I've done any computations before, sometimes you'll be running several programs, and you want to make sure that if for some reason in two different programs you had used the same variable name, please make sure that you erase all so that I'm not confused. So CLC means clear the command window. CLEAR means if I have any variables that I've created, please take it out of the workspace. So clear.